would you please join me in welcoming the Edmiston Central School
The
team
home
to sing
opener
their
is
national
always a
anthem
special
as they sing
time
our
for
national anthem this
any
evening.
team at any
Please
level
rise
of
and
any
remove your hats
sport.
for
And
the opening
tonight, the
Edmiston
Outlaws going to take on
Outfield
the
song.
Auburn Doubledays here at Damaski Field in their home opener. We are quickly going to go to our head coach interview with Keaton Mark from earlier today.
Colby Smith back here on another coach's interview with Outlaws head coach Keaton Mark. Coach, first two games in the books on the road. Tell me about what you saw from the boys in those two.
Yeah, obviously they ended up in losses. We never like that, but we saw a lot of good stuff. Both games, we just got to avoid that 4 spot at the beginning. We just fell apart late. Some errors here, some miscommunication there. But we avoid that going forward. I like where our team's at. We're doing it well defensively. Obviously, got to get on the bats a little more, limit the strikeouts. But other than that, I think we'll be good going forward.
What are some of the biggest positives you've seen over the course of the first week plus?
I'd have to say defense. It's good to see that we have a solid defense no matter who we put out there. Guys' willingness and eager to learn and play and listen. We got a great group of great kids overall. We never have to ask them to do anything. They just come out and help. So it's going to be a good summer going forward.
And when you go back to talking about cutting down that strikeout number, what's really got to give there and turning that around?
We just worked on some stuff in practice, changed the BP rounds up a bit. We've had a lot of talks. Obviously, a lot of times we just take the 2 strikes too much instead of just going after 1 or 2 of those pitches. We're just being more aggressive early in the count and then obviously just battling your butt off when you get down in the count.
Well, in terms of what your message has been so far to the team as a whole, what have you been saying to them at these practices and meetings?
We just preach aggressiveness, obviously. A lot of these kids haven't seen live ABs in months. A lot of them are young, a lot of freshmen. So, obviously, now everybody's got their feet wet. We went over that. So now, just go out and play, have fun, play baseball, play your game however you want to play it.
Speaking of that, how hard is it truly to, after not seeing live pitching for so long, get back out there and be seeing some of these arms that these guys have seen already?
Yeah, it's tough. And some of our guys, we have good competition. Amsterdam Sauger starting off with them. Obviously, they have high-value arms, high velo. So, it's definitely tough to jump back into it against the arms like that. But I think going forward, we'll get used to it and we'll be better.
And you mentioned also the youth that this team has to it. How do you feel like that's really become kind of an identity here early on for this group?
I think it's become an identity in the fact that, like I said, they're all fighting for spots. They all want to go back to school ball with numbers. They all want to get better, improve in the future, and be able to take it back to their schools and help their team. Also, like I said, their willingness to learn. Nobody's hard-headed. They're all great kids, like I said.
And now that you've been able to get almost everybody here, got to see what everybody's got in the tank, what's one word or phrase that you would use to describe the team you've got here?
I would say, well, obviously youthful, but just if I had to say one thing, I'd just say grittiness. This team definitely has grit. They just need to figure it out a little bit in terms of technical skills, but they all want to get out there and win and compete.
Well, and when it comes to those technical skills, how do you go about trying to help with those while they're here in the summer?
Just as many reps as possible for the most part. Obviously, we talk about technique and all that. Their coaches in school do a great job with that. They send us stuff for us to work on, but just the amount of reps that we're able to do, whether we have practice or even before games today, we just try to rep them out as much as possible.
And for you personally, now that you've been here for a couple summers in Oneonta, how do you feel like you've kind of grown as a coach, and how much have you enjoyed having this experience here?
I think I've grown in the point of being relaxed, but being controlled and being relaxed and still being able to develop guys. Obviously, nobody wants to come to a summer and just obviously get tired out right away and everything. So I think just with Joe and I just finding the fine line between being too relaxed and working them pretty well. We're trying to meet that middle point. And I think we've done a good job so far this year, and we're going to keep getting better. But just in terms of that, just getting after it every day.
Well, I want to go back to what you mentioned earlier, talked about those 4 spots in Saugerties on Sunday really being the difference maker. In the end there, what do you feel like really kind of, gave the Stallions that game?
Zach Rao pitched a hell of a game when he got in there. That tough inning with that number up the middle that got through, and then just miscommunication with an error with 2 guys that played together all year, which they weren't happy with each other, but they're great guys and great friends, so they'll figure it out. And once we get those kinks figured out, we'll be fine. And then obviously in the inning after that, they found a couple barrels, so one thing leads to another in this game. It's a tough sport when you make errors on top of it.
Well, and for your guys, been hard to get balls out of the infield to this point. Only a couple opening night, and then again Sunday in Saugerties. What's got to give in that department?
Yeah, I think adding a couple bats like we did from High Point will be great for us. Other than that, though, like I said, guys just not seeing a lot of pitches, seeing a lot of ABs. We got a lot of guys coming back from injury. Once we get that figured out, I think we'll start catching a lot more barrels.
And you mentioned those 2 High Point guys, Jason, Jack. What's your expectation, and what are you hoping to see out of them?
Yeah, they're two two help ball players. I think they're going to be really good for us. They'll be in the lineup tonight. Obviously, they had great years, a lot of time as freshmen at High Point, which is a very good school to play baseball at, so I think they're going to be very good for us.
Well, you mentioned tonight's the home opener here at Damaski Field. Always a special time. First couple of years as head coach, what have you seen in home openers, and what's your thought going into today?
Yeah, home openers are always a different one. There's a little bit of anxiety behind it, a little bit of feeling rushed, but now that me and Joe here have been here for 3 years, we're pretty relaxed because we know we got to get done, and then we just focus on the kids. As long as we can come out as a team and just shake off the nerves right away and just play baseball, we'll be fine.
Coach, thank you so much for your time. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, Colby.
Welcome back to the historic Damaski Field. As always, a big thank you to head coach Keith Mark for taking the time to join us here on the broadcast. Certainly had a lot to say about those opening 2 games on the road. And, well, I got a special guest. Again, my name is Colby Smith here with you. Tonight we're joined by Outlaws first baseman and Canisius, Connor Wading. And Connor, it's such a pleasure to have you up here in the booth.
Always, Colby. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to hang out with you.
Well, so let's talk about it. You were in the lineup Sunday. This Outlaw team struggling there a little bit on the road. Tell me about what you saw.
I don't think our scores have been super true with how we're playing the game. And I think we're taking good swings, good ABs. Myself, I want to cut down my strikeouts. I think as a team, we want to cut down our team's strikeouts. But I've seen as Coach Keaton said, good things so far for the first 2 games, even though they losses. Hopefully we can turn that around right here at home.
Pat Dangler going to start on the hill here this evening for the Outlaws. First pitch strike, time of the was we're away a little bit early here on home opening night. 0-1 offering, and that one sails highway, and the count's going to draw even. And Connor, you had the opportunity to teammate with Pat Dangler last summer. How awesome is it to share the dugout with him?
Oh, it's awesome. I love hanging around with Dan and his brother too. Like they're great kids, come from a great family. Awesome to be around. Always making someone laugh. So it's a good time to have them back here.
Vivian Cole with some nice play defense to run our count to 1 and 2 here early. Then you talk about them coming from a great family. Obviously, local kids on this roster. So you guys are always seem to have local makeup to it. And what's it like coming in from an out-of-town perspective?
It's cool. It's a lot different being from Long Island. It's just ground ball to second base. We get our first out. Being from Long Island, the suburbs, kind of city vibes, only 30 minutes away from New York City. It's cool to be in this town where everyone supports one thing, the team, that's all that's around. So it's really cool to hang around here.
Josh Thompson will come to bat, 2-spot in the lineup for Auburn. And ladies and gentlemen, we didn't get to hit on our pregame, but this is an exhibition game, so this game will not count for the standings here in the PGCBL. We are going to play 9, though. It's usually exhibition 7, so just to put that out there now as Thompson takes strike 1. And Connor, it's looking like game's coming ready here to task on open night.
I mean, yeah, we all saw at the end of the year he's throwing a lot of pitches, a lot of innings. He's always wanting the ball. He's just that guy who wants to be out there, wants to be throwing. And he does his job. He gets outs.
Kennedy on the bouncer, gets across diamond. And despite the stretch, Baylitz gets the out.
Great scoop by J-Mo.
So there's quickly going to be 2 down here for Auburn in the top of the first. I mean, you're a primary angle on this ball over here. I don't know if that foot come off.
No, that foot was on there. He held the bag. J-Mo's a good fielder. I trust him to make that pick and stand in the bag every time.
Okay. Well, going to Hudson Valley yourself, pretty familiar with a lot of you guys on the roster. Baylitz not one you had the opportunity to play with, so what's it like being around him as well?
Oh, he's awesome. He's an awesome dude. He's always making the guys laugh. He fits right in Hudson Valley. And I mean, we're going to see him swing the stick here tonight, but he's good in the field, and I've heard great things about his bat. I'm excited to see it.
Shortstop Adam Sullivan following off at the third baseline under the screen. So quickly our count will be 1-1 with 2 outs. Against the Outlaws home opener, we want to give a huge thank you to the Otsego County Community Grants Program for buying up the ballpark this evening and making it possible for free admission to all. 1-1. That one sails highway. Count quickly going to go 2-1. And Connor, what's the experience like as a ball player being involved home opening night?
It's awesome. You know, the turnouts just get bigger and bigger each game.
Skyrocketed out to center field. Uhara over the gap makes the snag, and that'll end the inning. Waiting, how about it? A 1-2-3 first for Pat Dangler.
I love it. That's a great start to this game. I think that's the start we needed. Hopefully the Sticks can come out and put a run up for them.
Outlaws will come back here in the bottom of the first. When we come back, we'll run you through the starting lineup of 1 to 9. Stay tuned.
Cool. Do you know how to get it to the next inning? Or do I just click?
Hold on.
Oh, never mind. I'm good.
You got it? How's it feeling?
Yeah. It's cool. I gotta say.
I wish I was playing.
Our first game of the 2025 season is a water balloon toss. Last man standing takes it all. We have 3 teams. First team, Tucker and Serenity. Then we have Landon and Cordell. And then we have Ruby and Casey.
I was saying.
3, 2, 1, toss. Oh! We have a winner!
I'm trying to mic.
Go through it. Bottom of the first inning, back here to Canasky Field, 2025 Outlaws home opener, Colby Smith and Connor waiting. And now let's talk about this Oneonta Outlaws starting lineup here this evening.
No, don't.
Outlaws going to be led off by center fielder Kazuhara of Wofford. Jace Kohler makes his Oneonta debut, hitting second and short. Jameson Balich going to be third and first. Hugo Conworth, designated hitter in the 4th spot. Nathan Bowes does the catching. Then we go to Jack Clark, the right fielder. Zach Rowe hits 7th and left. Jaden Kennedy plays 3rd. And Zach Robinson rounds out the lineup in the 9th spot. Zuhara going to settle himself in the box.
We have number 47.
Owen Bircher. As that one going to be strike 1 right down the gut. And Connor Kazuhara, what's the scouting report on him?
He's got great ball skills. I mean, this guy, and his plate discipline too. He sees pitches,
manages to fight off pitches, work long at bats, and he can run. I mean, we see him out in center field tracking balls down already in these first few games. So it's going to be cool to see him get hot and see what he can do on the bases.
1-1 for Bircher. Catch the upper outside quadrant, and the count will go 1-2. Bircher, again, this is Auburn's first game, and since last summer when they had their season at West Division semis to Elmira. 1-2, Grisale Highway, 2-2. And Connor, how weird is it to be playing a West team for the first time out on TV?
I mean, I'm just glad that we're at home. I'm not a huge fan of some of these bus rides, so to have a team from the other side come in and come play us is pretty cool and get a taste of some ball you're not going to see for us here.
Uhara going to be sent down swinging for the first out, and we'll go to Jace Kohler, the shortstop. Kohler making his Oneonta debut, just joined the squad yesterday from High Point University. Bircher going to set up first base side of the rubber, and that one going to sail high and in for ball 1. Just being around Kohler so far, what did you see or heard from him?
I haven't had a lot of chances to talk with him yet in the last 2 days, but watching his BP, he takes great rounds, puts great line drive swing on the ball, and he looks pretty clean at short, so hopefully he gets some action today over there and see how clean his glove is, and maybe a poke or two tonight.
So Bircher, first base side 1-1. That'll skip up off the plate. Count's going to go 2-1. Auburn on the defensive side of the ball. At third to first, they got Strange Traeger, Sullivan, Thompson's at second, and Izzo's at first. They got Leader behind the plate. You're catching them from Burchard. Is that one going to come tight to the knees? And the count's going to go 3-1. That'll catch the zone, and the count's going to go 3 balls, 2 strikes here with 1 away. Burchard, it seems like he's coming with some high heat early.
Yeah, I mean, seeing a lot of pitches early for the boys is pretty good. You know, Kohler's getting his first debut, so got to see some pitching. But I like the fact that we're working on counts right now.
We have number 24, Jameson Wallace.
Well, it seems like the scouting report on Burchard was that he's not a high velo guy, but he hits his spots really well. Do you think that's kind of what we're seeing here so far?
A little bit. Seems like he's losing his fastball, but breaking ball looks like he's finding that spot. So fighting that off is obviously what to do.
Balich will take one high and in. That'll be ball 1. And this Outlaw team home opener here tonight, 4 of 5 to come at home this week. So a massive stretch. As that'll clip the glove reader and roll away behind the plate. And also looking left to right in the outfield for Auburn. They got Thompson in left, Meyer in center, and they got Schwake in right here this evening. Doubledays got a lot of Division I players on the roster this summer. Still a few to come that are involved in College World Series or just had their season finish as the count got a 3-0. Seems like there's one good Balich in too tight to hit here.
From what I've heard about Balich, I probably wouldn't either.
Burchard's 3-out. That'll clip the zone, counts to 3-1. Connor, the nasty field, new mound out there, dirt was well kept all week, and beautiful sight here.
After one, you just sit.
Field looks great. I'm hoping it stays this way for the whole summer, but we're going to be grateful for the condition it's in while we have it.
So the count goes full here with 2 away. Both pitchers trying to trade 1, 2, 3 first. Here's the payoff. And Balich going to shoot it straight back up behind the plate. Reader forcing the mask off. And he's not going to have a play. So we'll try it again. Balich really wide open stance here in this first inning. Second low at the payoff. And that'll miss the spot, ball 4. And Connor Oneonta, great AB from JB right there.
Balich just had some great ABs. Even his AB that ended the Amsterdam game, he's still really long, really good AB. I'd love to see those really end up.
So we'll go down to Hugo Conmore, who represents the 4th spot in the lineup here tonight. Designated hitter, he's from Queens, New York, and he's going to be on Westchester after playing his past year at Herkimer and absolutely ripping the ball. Short lead for Balich, and that one comes in for a called strike 1. Conmore stands in there, 6'3", 215. Seems like Connor Hugo, been around this team so far, one of the quieter guys, but loves to put the work in.
From the outside, I would say probably. I got to talk to Hugo a lot. We played against him last summer. He was in Louisville. He's a great dude. He's one of the nicest guys I've met. Likes to have fun, likes to joke around, but like you said, he works hard, and you can see it. He put great swings on the ball in the games he's won.
Ken Balich looks like he wants to run. As that'll come on in high. Ball and 2 strikes. Nathan Bowes waiting on deck circle, hoping he gets a chance to swing that. If you hadn't had the opportunity to see it, head over to the PGCBL story on social media. Bowes has been shooting off quite a bit of content today and prep for the Outlaw home opener on our PGCBL story day. Conmore swings at this one that bounces in the dirt. Reader chases it back, not going to have a throw down to Izzo. And on the drop third strike, Conmore reaches. And it'll be first and second with 2 outs. How about it?
We'll take every opportunity we get.
Now we have number
So again,
4,
Balich is at second, Conmore is at first. Nathan Bowes. who will walk on up to the plate. Bose, he had himself a pretty good start to the season. Opening night in Amsterdam. 1 player of the game, 2 hits. What'd you see out of his performance?
I mean, he's a dog behind the dish. He's got a great arm. He backpicked 2 runners, which I love to see. Being over at first, I love when my catchers like to let it eat. Swinging the stick, I mean, you come up, you put bat on ball in any spot, there's an opportunity to make a difference in the game, and that's what happened at Amsterdam. So we need some more of that right now, just some bat on ball, see what happens.
So the count 0-1 here. Ken Bose, 6-0, 205. He's a pretty speedy guy as well as he pulls one in the air to right. Schwake will drift over towards the line, and he snarls it down for the out. So the Outlaws going to put 2 on the base paths here in this bottom of the first, despite no hits. And we go to the second here at historic Damaski Field in the home opener. Your score, 0-0, here between the Doubledays and your Outlaws. Top of the second, back here at historic Damaski Field. Again, my name's Colby Smith, joined alongside Outlaws first baseman Connor Waiting. And we had a solid 1-2-3 from Pat Dangler in the first. Connor, for the fans that might just be stopping in, what'd you see from Dang in the first?
Hitting the spots, inducing weak contact. That's what his game is, and that's what we like to see.
Kieran Kehoe going to watch one. It just broke off the plate for ball 1. And Connor, talking about a little bit off the record, you seem pretty familiar with Kieran Kehoe.
Yeah, Long Island guy. Went to high school around 15 minutes from me. We hit together over the off season. He's a good kid, works hard. We'll see what he can do. Hopefully, nothing too powerful against us tonight. But he swings a good stick.
And the slider from Dangler comes in there for a called strike. He did tell me before the game tonight he's trying to work in his new changeup, so a 3-pitch Mitch going to a 4-pitch Mitch this summer as this one blasted through the hole on the right side into right. Keogh's going to have a single, and that's the first hit of the ball game.
Now up to bat, number 34.
Like Keogh got a pretty good rip there.
Yeah, hopefully that's his only one of the night. He gets his knock first, and then we'll have our team come back with some runs. Nice 2-ball right here. Get him off the bases. He gets his hit. We get our outs.
Nick Izzo's playing first. Just wrapped up his freshman year at St. Peter's. Going to settle into the box. Middle infield will shift a bit to double play depth as this one whacked off foul. So it'll quickly be a 0-1. Looking at the Outlaws on the defensive side of the ball this evening. Bose is behind the plate for Dangler. First to third on the infield. It's Balich. Robinson at second. Kohler's at short. They got Kennedy at third. Left to right in the outfield, it's Rowe, Uhara, and Clark. Is the 0-1. Slow grounder up the third base line. Kennedy charges, fires it on the run, and Balich came off the bag with that foot.
I disagree. That was good footwork.
So Izzo going to get an infield single. And, man, it looked like Jaden Kennedy covered a lot of ground to get to that really quick.
Yeah, I was talking to Hugo about that pregame, this field plays big. Even the infield, the cut seems deeper than most fields, determining the infield and outfield. So he said he plays a little further back here. And we were talking about taking advantage of that with some bunts maybe, just make the third baseman work, and we saw it right there.
I was talking about this part playing big, one of the bigger ones in the PGCBL dimension-wise. It's 335 down the lines to the poles. To the gaps, 355. In the straightaway center, it's 405. Is Dangler getting a called first strike. Colson Thompson in here now. Just wrapped up his junior year, University of West Alabama. Had a pretty good spring, hitting almost 300. Third base, the only bag open with nobody out. Top second, 0-1, swung right through. And that's what we like to see from Dang.
I love that. Just hit spots, get ahead on batters, and like I've been saying, just produce some weak contact.
Kehoe standing off second, Izzo off first. Dangler checking the runners, is 0-2. Going to sail upstairs, ball and 2 strikes. And now with a couple to work with, what do you go back to here with nobody out?
I think he throws that slider, curveball, whatever motion he has on that. I think you just try and get that on the outside. Maybe cause a rollover, just weak contact. Get a double play right here.
1-2. And looks like it drills him just barely. As he'll fire the bat away and the bases will be juiced.
Troy Reeder.
I don't know about that one, Connor.
I think we two skeptical back-to-back calls right there. Not everything's in your control. Excuse me. So hopefully we can just fill up the zone, make our plays, control the things that we can control.
Well, that's exactly what the message that Coach Keaton March said in our pregame interview that you saw here. And again, all pregame interviews, player, coach, whoever, available on social media and posted to YouTube this year as well. So catch our interview with Coach Mark as well as our interview with Dangler available there, as that'll sail low. 2-0. Was talking about controlling the controllables and nothing more. Pitchers throwing strikes, just trying to get more barrels on balls, as that was a big struggle on those first 2 games as we mentioned back in the first. 2-0 pitch. That'll sail out and away, 3-0. And Connor, for a guy who's back here, second season with the Outlaws, what went into your decision to come back here for a second summer?
The coaches, Coach Keaton, Coach Joe, they're awesome. They're super fun to have to play for all summer. We're playing close to 50 games. Sometimes it's hard.
3-0, sprayed in the shallow left. Rowe going to field it off 2 bounces, gets it in. Dangler comes to back up Bose at the plate. We get a throw and a tag as Bose slapping it in there to nail out Izzo. And Auburn only getting 1. What a play.
But like I was saying, Colby, the coaches, playing 50 games sometimes is exhausting. So to have coaches that, you want to come back even when it's hot or just got finished getting rained on and all that, having coaches you want to come play for. And the place, like Oneonta is a fun place to be in. My friends from Hudson Valley, like you brought up earlier, made it an easy decision to come back. Got a lot to do around here, golf. Come by on off days. There's a lot of good places to eat, so it wasn't too hard of a decision to come back, and I'm glad I made it.
So Jed Stranger going to ground one left side of the infield. This one flipped underhand. A second, back on over to first, and they get the double play. Oh, man. A 6-4-3, gets the job done.
Minimize the damage. That's awesome. Great way to end the inning for the way it started.
So the Outlaws will get out of the jam here in this top of the second, and we go to the bottom half. Auburn, a 1-0 lead here on Outlaws YouTube.
the game tonight, we have Grace Mugger and we have Landon. Just kidding. We have Cordell.
Where that? Hey, we gotta. Where's the other people?
Bottom of the second, Colby Smith, Connor waiting from Damaski Field in this 2025 home opener. And what a half inning worked out of Pat Dangler, holding Auburn to just one there.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, starting with bases juice, no outs is always rough in a situation for disaster. And we got out of it with one. I mean, we had to score one anyway, so really doesn't hurt us at all.
And we do apologize about the video freezing up there at the end of the top of the second. It's still early in the season, getting all our kinks worked out and getting back into the groove of things. Jack Clark going to blast one off, and that'll go foul up the first baseline. Heard a lot of good things about Jack Clark's bat.
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same report I had about his teammate, Kohler. You know, they just hit hard line drives in BP. Excited to see him play today, see what we got going forward for the rest of the summer.
0-1, almost grazed his elbow. And the count will go 1-1. Auburn rolling to a new pitcher here in this top of the second, and we'll introduce you here in just a moment. Here's the 1-1. That'll sail down and away. 2-1. Clark stands at 6'0", 180, and again, he's from High Point. Didn't play a heck of a lot this spring, but getting the opportunity here to get to Oneonta, get some reps as he works ahead 3-1. And Connor, the new pitcher we got out there for Auburn, Wyatt Ernst, the junior from Cayuga, who had a pretty solid spring, from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan up in Canada, so he's a long way from home this summer. That bounces in front of the plate, and Clark's going to draw second walk of the game. Another pretty good at bat.
Leadoff runners, love leadoff runners.
Now batting.
So light's going to come on here early at Damaski Field on opening night. As Outlaws owner Gary Lang getting down there and getting them on. So sun's gone down, and it was nice to have pretty sunny day here, prep for the home opener.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great weather so far since we got here. I think there's been one rainy day. And outside of that, it's been just beautiful out. Nice easy breezes, nice light temps, you know, nothing too hot. It's been great. Playing under the lights here is an awesome experience, though, so losing the sun isn't the worst thing in the world.
1-0, and Rao going to shoot one off up the line foul. Rose from Hudson, New York. He got his Outlaws first hit up at Amsterdam on opening night. Came off the bench to relieve Darren Dangler. Got hurt on an unfortunate play on the warning track, chasing down a fly ball. Was slippery up there. That was one of those more kind of rainy, sprinkly days. Here's the 1-1. Clark's going to be caught in a pickoff. Gun throw down a second, and the tag slapped on by Sullivan. And Clark able to get in there.
That's how they teach it off a lefty. You get caught, you just keep going. You need the defense to make two good throws there and apply a tag. Just ran as hard as he could to second. Ends up working out for us.
I'd love to see Clark being willing to be aggressive early on as Rowe showed bunt and put it back behind the dish. So we'll try it again as the count will go 1-2. Seems like you guys have really been loving that hit and run play early on this year.
Hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with being aggressive. I like to see guys running, like to see guys trying to protect them with the bat. We got to make things happen going down 0-2 early in the year. So if that's how we got to play, it's how we got to play, and I'm liking it so far.
2-2. Rowe, another one. Comebacker into the screen. So we're 5 pitches deep on Zach Rowe in a 2-2 count. Here bottom second from Oneonta. Outlaws trailing the Doubledays. Home opening night. 1-0 score. Clark a dancing lead off second. And Rowe looked like he wanted to check his swing, but he held tight. And Connor counts run full here.
I love it. Like I said, we've been working long ABs just because we lost the first 2 doesn't mean that we're not having good ABs, not putting bat on ball. You can see it here tonight.
Payoff, gonna miss the zone, and Ernst has issued 2 straight walks. That's how you work a couple of quality ABs. Jack Clark, Zach Rowe, both working long ABs. And we go to Jaden Kennedy, third baseman from East Pascagoula, New York. Jaden Kennedy, a guy you're pretty familiar with.
Yeah, I got to play with him last year, my sophomore year, his freshman year at Hudson Valley. He's got a lot of pop in that bat. No, I'd love to see him just being aggressive early in the year, because when he gets a hold of them, he really gets a hold of them.
Well, and what have you seen his start to the summer, seeing some pretty tough arms from Amsterdam and Saugerties?
He knows where his mistakes were in those at-bats. He's been seeing the ball well despite the results of those at-bats. And like I said, just waiting for him to just get on something, get hot, because he can really do some damage. And this is a spot that I'm comfortable with him being in.
Quick check to second for Ernst, the 0-2. That sails downstairs and away. So it'll go 1-2. Zach Robinson waits on deck as the only Outlaw hitter not to get a chance yet to swing the bat. Ernst still keeping a close eye on Jack Clark as Kennedy, an elevator shot behind the dish. Reeder's chasing it back with that gold helmet, and that drops in for a foul ball inside the ballpark. So some lucky fan's going to go home with a baseball. And Connor is a kid who was going to baseball games once yourself. How fun is it to be out here, especially at a place like this on such a beautiful night?
It's awesome. The kids around here treat us like we're big leaguers, and it's a great feeling to be that person for a kid that you once looked up to. So it's really cool getting to play here now and having experienced all I've experienced in my life.
Kennedy letting the count run to 2-2. And would you say that that's one thing that really sets playing for the Outlaws apart from other summer leagues, that you just feel like, that major league treatment here is something special?
Yeah, I played in a different league going into my sophomore year, and it just wasn't the same feeling. It felt like, a usual summer league game like in high school. You show up to the field, play, go home. Nothing like the in-between innings games here. The fan turnouts, nothing like this from where I've played, so it does make it a special place to play.
Jaden Kennedy going to be rung up looking on one that seemed a bit low.
I like to give my guy the benefit of the doubt. Like I said, he's been seeing the ball well, and that's just something that he can't control, is how big the zone gets on a certain night. So it's something he's going to work through, talk through with his teammates, and try and figure out a solution to.
So we'll go down to Zach Robinson, who again is the 9-hole hitter in the Outlaw lineup tonight, put together by head coach Keaton Mark and assistant Josiah Aska. Bouncer in the dirt, and looked like Rowe had a massive lead off, and I don't know, Reeder looked like he wanted to gun throw it down there.
Everyone's safe. It's all that matters. Still have 2 runners on, opportunity to tie this game up right here.
Certainly be nice to play in a close ball game. Held it pretty close up there at Shuttleworth on opening night, and it's pretty close almost all the way down at Cantine Sunday too, no matter what the scoreboard and stats say.
Yeah, like we've talked about a lot already, those first 2 games, the scores do not reflect how close those games were, how good our at-bats have been, and everything else in between.
Clark's ready to run. Rowe as well. The throw from Reeder down to second doesn't get in there in time. Thompson trying that slap tag, but Rowe gets the hand in there and a double steal pulled off. The aggression's been huge.
I love it. As long as it keeps working out, I'm a fan. I'm here for it.
2-0, just above the shoelaces. It'll go to 3-0. First base, the only bag open here for Ernst. Playing summer ball for the first time in 2 years. Working out that first base side of the rubber. Pounds one in there close to Robinson, but gets a strike call, 3-1. What do you think? The green light on here?
Yeah, I like it. Anytime there's an opportunity to score some runs, I want my batter swinging.
3-1. And he takes it tight to the knees. That's ball 4. And Ernst has walked 3 Outlaws. Bases will be juiced. And Connor, we go back to the top of the lineup for a guy who's very dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, this might be the perfect guy right now to have up in this spot. Like I said before, great bat to ball skills, great plate discipline. He's going to work a good at bat here and hopefully give us the lead or at least tie it.
Kazuhara, the center fielder for Oneonta. He's played in each of the first 3 games. Opening night at Amsterdam really showcased what everybody expected he'd be this summer. Got a nice hard hit ball straight up the middle. Picked up an RBI in that game as well as he puts one on the right side. Fielded on a bounce. Izzo turns to Thompson. And ball rolls away from Ernst. Skirting in to score. Rowe follows Clark. Outlaws going to grab the lead. As in the second head first, Kazuhara. That's some good baseball.
Hey, like I said, you put ball in play, anything can happen. And that's what Kaz does, puts the ball in play and runs, and we saw it right there. So got to take advantage of the opportunities we're given.
So Uhara gonna get a single and advances on an error. So it'll be E3. 2 runs do score. Uhara picking up 1 RBI as Clark and Rose score. Robinson gets to third on it, so he's at third. Uhara at second, 2 in scoring position. And that one just above the plate again. Out of the dugout quickly, coming head coach Matthew Petrossi. Auburn, Connor, they are really fortunate that they have a lot of arms available here early on in the season. But certainly as a head coach in an exhibition game, you don't want to burn through too many with the real thing starting for you Thursday.
Yeah, no, my best guess is just trying to get each guy an inning, get them ready to go, let their catchers and pitchers start working together, see what each other's got. But definitely want to save your arms. We kind of ran into that late last season and got burned by it. So trying to keep your arms isn't just on the coach. It's on the bats too. Got to make plays behind their pitcher, score some runs so he doesn't have as much pressure on. So hopefully we can save some arms tonight and see Dangler go a few innings here.
Well, and Dang has told me that he's been working up in his bullpens to a launch start where he can go 60, 70, 80 pitches. And so hopefully he's got that in the tank and can keep the Outlaws in this game for a while as Kohler putting one off behind the dish, and the count will go 1-1. But you mentioned that end of the season last year. July was a really tough month for this group in 2024.
Yeah, there's really just not much to say about that. I don't think we played as well as we could have, should have. Maybe it was the heat, maybe it was the long season. But there was a lot more potential than what we showed with that group, and hopefully we can make up for it this year and make last year's group proud.
Count to 2-1 here on Kohler. And that'll be in the dirt, ball 3. Ernst is kind of all over the place here with his command.
Yeah, when you put balls in play on strikes and you're laying off good pitches, good misses that are just ball or 2 off, makes it hard for the pitcher.
Hard hit ball. That's a good barrel for Jace Kohler. In the shallow left, waved around. Both Robinson and Uhara are going to score. That's 2 RBIs. Jace Kohler, welcome to Oneonta. It's a 4-1 lead.
just like I said, in his BP, makes nice line drive swings, and got one of those right there.
Yeah, it seemed like his follow-through was really kind of all in that one. Kohler, I know when I first talked to him before he came here to Oneonta, he was talking about really wanting to work on his follow-through this summer, and wouldn't you say it was there?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great swing. Every part of it was great, on time, caught a barrel, sends it right into the left center gap. Can't ask for anything more. Got 2 runs out of it. Great first game for him so far.
It seems like the crowd's starting to get into it too here on opening night. Obviously, you never want to give up the first run, and head coach Keaton Mark is looking for his first ever win in a home opener here tonight after losing 2 years ago to Amsterdam in the home opener 4-1, and last year, of course, that very forgettable loss to Saugerties in the first one.
Yeah, I mean, if there's going to be a group to do it, this is going to be the group, I think. I would say this is a pretty tight group. We get along well. I think we play well together. Just got to put the pieces together piece by piece, and so far tonight, looks like the pieces are there.
2-1 comes just above Bailich's shoes again, and it'll run to 3-1. How do you feel like this group stacks up in terms of how close you guys were early on last year as opposed to this year so far?
I think it's honestly been a little... Ooh.
Tower and fly ball in the left. Thompson and Meyer both over. Thompson waved off by Meyer, and Meyer drops it. Charging from second, Jace Kohler going to get in the third. All the way to second goes Balich, and that'll be a costly error for the Doubledays.
There you go. Put the ball in play. Anything can happen. Like I've been saying all broadcasts so far, so this inning's proving it.
Now up to bat, we have number 18.
But back to your question, I do think we have gotten a little tighter than last summer. Maybe it's because of how many returners we have. Maybe it's like you see how many Hudson Valley guys we have, and I have a Hudson Valley background. But we've just been pushing to hang out more away from the field, and when we get here, we have a great time. So it's been a really fun group to be around so far.
Well, and with that, it looks like Auburn is going to make a pitching change in an inning that's lasted quite a while. Outlaws got 2 in scoring position. We'll introduce the new arm when we come back. Bottom of the second that stretched on for quite a while for the Outlaws. Auburn making a pitching change. We bring it back in here. New arm is going to be Brennan Hillman. Just finished his freshman year from Cincinnati, Ohio at the University of Maine. So a guy who's certainly got a lot of gas in the arm, playing Division I ball up there. And again, Coach Petrossi managed to pull in quite a few high-power players this summer as Conor's got a good rip on strike one. But that's one thing that I think we've been talking about a lot as a staff here in Oneonta so far. Keaton March starting to pull in a lot of Division I and high-power guys here too to Oneonta.
Yeah, I mean, we got some high point guys this year. We had Rhode Island, Western Carolina last year, just Wofford a lot this year and last year. So, I mean, Keaton's a great coach, knows his stuff. Same thing with Coach Joe. So he's a great guy to play for. I don't see why anyone at any level wouldn't want to play for him.
0-2 will go on off behind the dish as Conor, some good fighting. As a player, if you got asked to describe Keaton's playing style in a short phrase or a couple words, what would you say?
I would probably just say aggressive or maybe controlled chaos. He likes us jumping on pitches early. If we have a bag, if you're a guy you can run, you think you have a bag, go take it. If you can lay a bunt down for a hit, go do it. He small ball, take a big swing. There's controlled chaos. Be super aggressive and controlled.
1-2 out into the right center gap. Meyer, Schwake both over. Meyer going to haul this one in. Tagging from third going to come Kohler. Bailiff's going to slide in safely to third. And that will be a set fly for Conors. And we've got a 5-1 Oneonta score with 2 away here, bottom 2. Conors, Connor, that's his first RBI of the summer. And, man, this half inning has really been everything you could have asked for and then some.
Yeah, get punched, punch right back. That's the best baseball you can ask for is, letting up the first round and then coming back with a 5 spot, get a nice crooked number on the scoreboard. Gives Dangler a little bit of breathing room. He can pitch more free and hopefully go a little bit longer having a decent-sized lead.
Well, we kind of talked about this guy who's in the box now his first time up. Nathan Bose has been remarkable for the Outlaws here early as he gets ahead in the count 1-0. I think his energy and enthusiasm is something that really sets him apart from everybody else.
Yeah, he's a really passionate guy. He's talking to other guys about certain things he's working on, picking brains, sharing his knowledge.
And he gets drilled on the left shoulder. That one got away from Hillman. And, man, might have to get him an ice pack after the game. Better get on it.
Hopefully that hit the guard. I got a pretty big elbow guard myself. You always get lucky when it gets you on the guard. So hopefully that's the case with him, and he'll be good behind the dish for the rest of the game.
Jed Clark will get to bat for the second time in this half inning as Oneonta's batted around. Got 2 outs here in this bottom second. And again, your score's 5-1 if you're just dropping by to join us. Clark with a nice take as that'll be ball 1. And we did mention it already, but huge week at home for your Outlaws. 4 of 5 right here in the home confines. We'll be back here tomorrow playing Utica out of this Galaxy night at 7. So make sure you pop on out and join us for that. 1-0 from Hillman. Going to break in high again, 2-0. And Connor's a ball player in the summer. How awesome is it to get a week like this where you don't have to travel too much?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, having back-to-back away games, sitting on the bus for an hour, 2 hours there and back is not the most comfortable experience. But being able to get back to my apartment at a decent time, make some food, instead of sitting on the bus with whatever post-game meal we get I'm always very grateful for those stretches, so I'm glad we get one early on.
Count to 2-1 with runners at the corners. Balich is at third, Bose at first, and he's on the run trying to get down to second. That one skips away. Nice back up there by Thompson to cover the bag. But Bose gets the bag, but to 2 strikes goes Jack Clark. You said Coach Keaton's had you jumping on pitches, and there's another example of it.
Yeah, I mean, what's that, his second bag now? He was talking about his technique of stealing bags. It's big now in college baseball. I'm not sure if everyone knows about the vault lead. Gives you a little bit of momentum going towards second with a smaller lead. And he was talking about that a lot during the Amsterdam game. So he's putting it into practice early in the season.
Well, and how about a catcher that can run as well as Bose does? Seems like a rarity. You see that too much.
Yeah, don't get many catchers who run like him, so it's really good to see him being aggressive.
Clark goes pulling for the off-speed down and away and can't bomb it the way he wants, so he's going to be retired for the first time tonight. Outlaws strand 2 on base, but not before they pop 5. They take a 5-1 lead to the third here in Oneonta. Back here to Oneonta, top of the third. Got to give a huge shout out to Connor Wading for taking his time to drop by the broadcast here this evening. Not in the lineup. We always try to give some of these Outlaws a chance to get up here, get on the broadcast, and certainly keeps it interesting, and it's always a good time to get a different voice and kind of hear what's going on down in the locker room from a insider's perspective. Parker Schwake going to lay off one here. The count's going to go 2-0. He's playing right field. He's a freshman from Youngstown State, stands at 6'4", 220. And Wading said it himself, Dangler having the opportunity to work a little more free with a big lead, and he fields this one cleanly to Balich for a nice little 1-3 put away.
Now batting, number 1, Sam Meyer.
Dangler does have a cannon. Saw it quite a bit last summer. He was the leader on the Outlaws pitching staff in terms of putouts off the mound. He kind of works himself around quick and gets a jump where he can, try to field the ball. He's one of those do-it-all guys who puts it all on the line every time he gets the ball. And Sam Meyer, the 10-hole batter, going to work ahead in the count 1-0. Meyer, his first season playing for the Doubledays, a freshman from St. Joseph's, as he shoots one straight on bat behind the dish, and the count draws even, a ball and a strike. After Meyer, we'll turn things back to the top of the lineup, as Viviaqua will roll to the top. Auburn did up to bat 10 here on the road this evening in their first game. Count to 2-1 here on Meyer. Doubledays, I mentioned it with Wading up here, had their season end as they lost to 2-seeded Elmira in the West Division semis last year. Elmira would then go on, beat Batavia 6-1, get to the championship round, where the Pioneers were swept as they lost 7-2 and 9-8 respectively to the champion Mohawks. Uhara out in easy center has a can of corn. So there's 2 away.
Now batting number 21.
Is Dangler continuing to get the outs. Been really efficient for Oneonta so far. Surrendering 3 hits the first time through the lineup, only one of which was a super barreled up ball. Vivi Aqua, the freshman from Niagara, DH is a switch in the box, and he's taking strike 1. Dangler going back to that off speed, and it was nice to get the opportunity to catch up with him before the game today. Talk a little bit about the home opener from a starting pitcher's perspective. There's a couple of bad skips. Balich underhands it to Dangler, who covers the bag, and he got in there in time. That's a 3-1 as Dangler hustles over to cover it up. And a 1-2-3 going to be worked for the second time tonight by the great. Bottom of the third here on Outlaws YouTube. Oneonta played at 5 in the bottom half of the second. They're looking to keep the bats hot. I'm joined here now by Outlaws General Manager Tony DeLillo. His row take it strike 1. Tony, welcome back to the booth.
This is awesome, man. Thanks for having me.
What a start here for the Auburn Doubledays pitching staff. Already using 3 arms. Is Hillman going to sail one high and away, and the count running even?
Last inning, we had some great at-bats last inning.
Well, and that's the thing Connor Wayton and I were talking about how one thing that's being preached for this group early on is working deep counts and trying to work ahead.
I thought we had great at-bats, and we had some great timely hits. And we were good on the base pass, too. All things you need to have to be good.
Rowe flying out to Zach Thompson. Seemed like he barreled up that ball pretty good, but just can't drop it in there.
Listen, there is a lot of real estate out there at the Mosky Field. And to put it in the gap, you got to really get a piece of it. And sometimes you think you do, and there's just a lot of space out there, and it unfortunately ends up in their hands for an out.
Jaden Kennedy, who plays third for Coach Keaton Mart tonight, gonna set back in the batter's box. He's been swinging a pretty good stick here to start the year. Struck out looking his first time up. As Hillman gonna sail one in high, ball 1.
Can I just say, what a beautiful night for baseball here in Oneonta at the Mosky Field.
Yeah, it's a remarkable night. I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better start to the season here.
I mean, the field looks great. I mean, the crowd is fantastic. It's just an awesome night for opening night baseball here at the Mosky.
Kennedy takes one with a nice break right down main for called strike 1, and it's even at 1-1. And Tony, talking about here at Damaski, I mean, this week 4 home games and our first 4 promotional nights. How exciting is everything going on off the field?
I can't wait for tomorrow night with a night at the Galaxy. I can't wait for that. It's going to be so much fun. We have some awesome things planned for our guests in attendance.
Well, and what's going to be your outfit tomorrow? Going anything special?
I don't know yet. It's going to be a secret. You know, I like the last minute. You know, show up and see what you get.
1-2, swing on a miss. Kennedy going to go for that high heater, and he can't bomb it. So there's 2 quickly away, and we go to Zach Robinson. Later on this week, though, we can't just talk about Out of this Galaxy night. We got to talk about Friday. Got Family Fun Night coming up this weekend. How fun is that going to be?
I think it's going to be great, and the weather looks great too that night. So it's a great night to bring your son, daughter, your niece, nephew, your granddaughter, grandson. Bring them to the ballpark. Get yourself a nice hot dog. Get yourself a cold beverage, a slushie, and enjoy the Oneonta Outlaws baseball.
That's the general manager spiel at its finest. Again, a 0-1 count with 2 away. Robinson trying to prevent the first 1-2-3 by the Auburn staff. And he'll trail 0-2. Even Saturday, baseball and education night as we play against Boonville. What a week.
I mean, it's a great week to start for the Oneonta Outlaws. A lot of excitement at the Mosque, a lot of great things going on, and we're looking forward to every single night. And that goes for, in the month of July. We have some awesome things happening in July, too. I can't wait to share with our audience.
This year is going to be one for the books. Everybody's got to support this Outlaw team and come out here to historic Tomaski Field because you certainly don't want to miss everything that's going on here. 1-2. And Robinson going to get frozen by this. He's rung up looking. And Hillman pitching a 1-2-3 here in the third. Tony, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having me. Great job. Appreciate everything, sir.
Heading to the fourth inning here in Oneonta. 5-1 Outlaws remain in the driver's seat. Back here to Oneonta, top of inning 4, 2-3-4 to bat for the visiting Doubledays. Auburn, after they get through this one tonight, they're going to have an off day tomorrow, and then their schedule is going to get really busy all of a sudden, really fast. Their home opener at Leo Pitney Field at Falcon Park scheduled for Thursday, 6:30 start against Geneva as the 0-1. Slow roller, Kennedy, Fields on the run. Baylitz pulled off the bag, and Thompson runs it out. That's an infield hit. Doubledays get their fourth hit already, and only one of those has left the infield. So Dangler, he said his big thing tonight was going to be trusting the fielders behind him, and, well, he's done just that. He's been pitching to contact, and that's something that you enjoy seeing. Outlaws don't have too many arms that I can think of right off the top of my head who really work, especially to contact, than Pat Dangler. And nothing wrong with that at all, is Adam Sullivan taking ball one. But getting back to what I was saying about the Doubledays, after their Thursday home opener, they go to Newark Friday. They host Elmira Saturday, go to Newark again on Sunday. As Dangler trying to pick off to first, and Thompson diving in safely. Then they host a Kids Day game against Geneva next Monday at 10 a.m. And believe it or not, their next off day after tomorrow isn't until June 16th, as they'll play a doubleheader against Jamestown on the 15th, and then finally get a day to take a breather the next day. Bose is coming out from behind the mound to talk to Dangler here with a 2-0 count. The West Division, some of those teams do play a few double headers during the year to try to give themselves a couple extra days off because schedule gets made, so they start a little bit later and then, of course, have less time to get their games in. Try to cram them all in from June 4th, June 5th to give everybody a few extra days once they get eliminated from college baseball playoffs to get there. And then they only go till, I think it's June 27th is their final day in this division. The East Oneonta side runs until July 29th. So slim difference in terms of that, but already the count running a 3-0 here on Adam Sullivan, who flew out to center his first time up. Sullivan taking another, And Dangler firing 4 straight balls, and he's allowed the first 2 to reach.
Now up to bat, number 31, Kieran Cahoe.
Thompson advancing to second. Sullivan's at first. And Kieran Kehoe going to come up and swing the bat. He singled his first time up. Kind of got that little scouting report from Connor Wading on what to expect from him. As Kehoe, a big open stance, and he's going to take one low and in for strike 1. Seems like Dangler's working with a bit of comfort here in this half inning, despite allowing 2 on. Checks both runners, and now is 0-1. And Bowe's a nice little back pick, 1-1. Saw him opening night, Shuttleworth Park in Amsterdam on the biggest stage against the defending champs. Had some pretty good bat pits. He had one where had to bat pick a ball and still managed to throw a base runner out. I think it was the 3-0 hitter in Amsterdam's lineup. Is this one on the ground? Kohler fielding to Robinson, turns it back to Balich, and there is a 6-4-3 double play. Can't draw it up any better. So Sullivan forced out as the first half of it. Kehoe retired next.
Now batting, number 34, Nick Izzo.
And so there's 2 outs on the board, and Nick Izzo going to come on up for Auburn. Izzo also singled his first time up. Weak one to the right side of the infield as he takes strike 1, belt high. Izzo was thrown out at home on a fluky 7-6-2 in that second inning after singling. Ball put in play by Troy Reeder, Knew I was going to mess that up at least once tonight. My O's always look like E's when I write quick. Reeder singled, and then they were trying to get aggressive, add an extra run, and instead Oneonta turned around and shot him up for 5. As this one, Balich, seeing if he'll have a play, gets over the screen and above a few fans, stays in the ballpark, and one of the kids here going to have a baseball and a souvenir from home opening night of the Outlaws. Dangler 1 pitch away from getting out of this 4th inning now. Thompson's over there at third. Again, what a 6-4-3 double play for the middle infield as the 1-2. Tried to freeze him, but Izzo has an eye of gold, so 2-2 it goes. Dangler working from the first base side here is 2-2, swung on and missed, and he gets out of the inning. Dangler, his first K of the summer season, a big one to get him through 4. He leaves a runner 90 feet away, and mid-4 here at Damascus, Outlaws, 5-1 your score. The Wofford product and Oneonta's newfound leadoff hitter going to start things off here in the bottom of inning 4 as we bring you back here on YouTube. What a start for this offense. Uhara blast to short gets caught. Sullivan on the line shot, able to yo-yo it in the mitt. So 1 down, Uhara, 1 pitch, 1 out. They got Hillman out here, already surviving an inning and 2/3, so he's now thrown 2 innings here for this Doubledays pen. And it looks pretty quiet down there in right field. Doubledays have the dugout on the first. Outlaws take the third base line and the bullpen in the left. And it looks like they have an arm getting hot down there on the left, so Dangler's day might be done through 4. And if his day is done, he's certainly made a name for himself and a chance to contend for some more starts here moving forward. Is Coach Keaton and Coach Joe, nothing's decided about who's going to get starts and, who's going to get too many innings. Of course, they want to work all their arms in as much as they can. That's one big thing about summer ball, try to give everybody some reps. But, of course, your power arms are going to get more opportunities. Kohler in a 1-1 count. And he, in the right field, cranked that one to the Doubleday bullpen area. So it's a ball and 2 strikes. Outlaws, can you believe it? Just 2 hits on the board. Kohler's got 1 of them. Him and Uhara accounting for the only 2, but they have 5 up there. Base paths are all open. Here's the 1-2. Kohler. I'm going to take that. For a high called strike. And he'll be sent down for out 2. A little bit of confusion there about the count, but Kohler going to be sent down. Again, opening night, still getting the feels back here at Damaski Field and getting everything rolling. Trying out a lot of new stuff, trying to go digital with many things this year. And again, talked about our little frozen camera issue there earlier. We're also going to be working in some more cameras here as we go throughout the summer. We're hoping to have everything up and rolling here for the opener, but we apologize on not having all that ready to go. So we'll be working in some more angles as we move throughout the summer season. Owner Gary Lang putting a big investment in taking things to the next level here in Oneonta this summer. Got a great intern staff and a lot of new technology, so we're happy about everything we got ahead of us. Balich, the 1-1. Shot over the screen on this first base line. That one, we'll get into the parking lot. So the 1-2 it goes. Balich, good plate defense, able to foul another off. Balich has been on twice tonight. Walk and reach in via a 2-base error. 1-2. Another one back into the screen. Who needs Guardians of the Galaxy when you got Guardians of the Plate? Balich would be the star of that movie. Auburn pitching, led by Hellman, sit straight retired. Balich trying to end the streak there. And he clipped that one weird off the long end of his bat. So Balich, wide open stance here. Again, 5-1 Oneonta lead. And he cranks that one to the outlaw pennant left, foul ground. So we'll keep at it. Hugo Conor is just waiting on deck here for Oneonta. If Balich can find a way to end this streak. Hillman, despite an inflated ERA this spring, he's looking really good. Start the summer in the right. Schwake going to drift to his right. Pulls it out of the lights, and that ends the inning. Oneonta having a hard time after scoring those 5 to get any runners on base. But at least they got a lead. To the 5th we go. 5-1. Oneonta remains your score. We got a new Outlaws arm with a call to the bullpen. Dangler's night is done. What a 4-inning outing for him. Longest outing for an Outlaw pitcher to start the season. He goes 4, surrenders 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned. Walks just 1, strikes out 1. Finishes with a hit by pitch. And your new guy, the local product out of Morris, Issa Dugan, taking the hill, wearing the mid-46. First one, he went fastball. This one, Balich hoping he'll have a play over to the corner, and he's got it. Balich covering a lot of room down there to right field. Holes in, the Colson Thompson pop-up.
Troy Reeder.
And Troy Reeder now going to waltz on up with one quickly away. Dugan did join the Outlaws for the final weekend of the regular season last year with that arm shortage that I talked a little bit about with Connor waiting early on when he was up here for the first few innings. That one, elevator shot, ball 1. He threw 3 2/3 of just 1-run balls, surrendered 3 hits against Watertown in the season finale, which was a 6-4 loss. As this one flared in the left, takes a skip. Rowe will field it in quick, but it's a 1-out single for Reeder. But that month of July was really tough for many reasons for Oneonta last year. Once those 3 Wofford kids left on July 1st, and always a big shout out to some of our legacies, Lucas Grantham, Cullen Condon, Tanner Harden, things just kind of went off the rails quick, had some injuries, had some guys that had to leave for various reasons, family, work, whatever. And the losses started to stack up, and pitchers really the supply of them just became really short. And so ended up finishing with just a couple arms left. Dan Matafee was one of the guys who stayed right till the end last year. He was throwing at Holy Cross again this spring. And loved Matafee. He said he'd be watching in quite a bit this summer. He's not playing summer ball this year. So Matafee, if you're watching tonight, big hello to you. But Reeder's at first with 1 away. Matafee actually got that playoff start for the Outlaws last year in July. First time Oneonta had made the postseason in a couple of years. Had the 6th seed. Had the season end in a heartbreaker against Mohawk. Well, maybe heartbreak isn't the right word for it, but ended up getting mercy run ruled in 8 innings, and that was how the season ended. So these 10 returners on this Oneonta team this summer certainly coming back with something to prove this year, as Dugan, another high pitch, and the count to 1-2. Supposed to have 11 returners, but one trailing off at the last second. Ben Gilbert was supposed to join us, and SNHU product not coming last minute. And Dugan picking up his first K at 2025 on the slider down and away.
Number 7, Parker Swig.
So Strange Traeger's retired. There's 2 outs, and Parker Swig going to settle in. The one thing about Dugan, he is a really good arm out there on the hill for Oneonta, but that velo is one thing he's kind of been working on. Only sits around the mid-80s. As this one out of the glove of Bose to second. Robinson put the tag on, and somehow Reeder got in there. Robinson, it looks like he's hurting. I don't know if his hand got touched or what. But Robinson calling for a trainer, it looked like, after he got up. He's kind of walking around a little bit, so we'll hope he's all right. It was a really good heads up, no matter what you say, by Bose to snap that one down to second, open that maybe they could get an out there. Love the teammate camaraderie, too, as Asa Dugan walking off the hill back towards his second base guy to check on Robinson. And Robinson is really good up there in the middle for Oneonta. Didn't play a lot this spring at Gardner-Webb. A lot of veterans on the middle infield. There's a big hack and a miss. So the count going even here to a ball and a strike. Robinson, talking to him on Sunday down there at Saugerties when he saw his first ABs, just talking about how different it was to jump back out there. The batting practice only does so much for you. The inter-squad games only do so much for you when you're seeing weaker arms. But see the really high-powered stuff like we're seeing in Saugerties with some of those arms for the ponies on Sunday, clipping mid-90s was certainly a different look. Robinson trying to hold his own, though, here in the PGCBL and really earn himself a spot on the field. This is the count running to 3-1. Dugan looking back behind him. As this one up the third base line in foul territory. Schwait didn't get all of it, so the count running full. Again, it's Reeder off the second here. Gonna pay off offering with 2 outs. As Dugan gets weak contact. Robinson putting it over to Balich for a 4-3. Dugan works around a single by Troy Reeder. We're halfway home here in the home opener. And Oneonta 5-1 is your score. Back here to Oneonta, we got a new arm to introduce for Auburn. Outlaws leading 5-1, and Hugo Conehorse going to take ball 1 as it popped off the mid of Reeder into the dirt. New arm is Colin Castile, a sophomore from Youngstown University. He's a Butler, Pennsylvania native. Going to their second righty of the night is Conehorse. Popped this one straight up behind the plate. Is the count going to 1-1? Conehorse has been on once tonight. Struck out in the first inning. Got on courtesy of a drop third strike, little fluky play. Did get an RBI, his first as an Outlaw as well in the second inning. On a sat fly in the center. Had Meyer come in quite a bit as he's been playing pretty deep all night, and I think that's one thing the Doubledays have really not loved about coming back here to Damascus for the first time in a while, just getting accustomed to a new field. Auburn with a lot of returners on their roster as well this year is that one. Reeder spinning around, didn't know where it had gone, but nobody's on base, so it's no threat, and the count goes 2 balls, 2 strikes. Auburn, if I did count correctly, 8 returners on their roster this summer. Getting quite a few guys back from that team that was very successful a year ago. Overall finish was 24-18-1. They were a half game away from finishing in second place, but you would think if you play more games, you would somehow finish above a team that plays less than you, but Auburn played one more game than the Elmira Pioneers last year, tied in that game, so that was the difference maker between the 3 and 2 seed. So that one certainly stung on the side of the blue, red, and white. Cohorst waiting for this one. Looked like he tipped it, I guess. As he'll stay alive. Just barely nubbing it off his bat, but love to see it. A good fight from Oneonta continuing tonight. Castile, first base side, down and away. I thought that was ball 4. Okay. Guess in exhibition games we do things a little different. Cohorst going to be rung up looking. Thought he had the walk, but instead he takes the strikeout. Total opposites. He takes the walk back to the dugout, and it's Nathan Bose.
Now batting number 4, Nathan Bose.
To settle himself into the box. Bose flew out to right in the first. Was hit by a pitch and stole second. Back in the second. As this one put on off foul. And so the count quickly 0-1. Bose, the biggest hit of his spring, I talked about it down in Saugerties on Sunday, had a walk-off single to knock in 2 runs in a conference game late in the year. That's something that you don't hear too often from a freshman, as this one sprays up some dust. Goes even to 1-1. Behind Bose, Jack Clark will get a chance to swing the bat here in this 5th inning for Oneonta. We want to remind you, as we've talked about a few times already, Laws right back at home here tomorrow night playing Utica out of this Galaxy night. 7 o'clock start. One thing that is really nice about this Oneonta schedule early on, despite the massive difference in terms of home v away or, you know, the variation, how many nights of the week we're playing, getting a chance to see every Eastern Division rival early as Bose puts this one inside the line. He's taking the turnaround first, trying to leg out his first extra base hit of the year, and he does. Nathan Bose, a 1-out double. And the Outlaws breaking up the streak
Jack Clark.
of 9 straight retired. Nathan Bose, a good piece of hitting, touched it just inside the line. Jack Clark going to come on up next. He's 1 for 2. Both of his at-bats happened in the 2nd inning. How often can you say that in the 5th inning that batters had 2 ABs? Both came in the 2nd inning. This game has just been a really weird one in many aspects here on opening night. 5 runs on the board for the Outlaws, just 3 hits. Watson hit by pitches have kind of been the big thing for this Oneonta team. Opening night in Amsterdam, squad only managed to put up 5 hits, and then they snarled in 7 against those ponies down at Canton on Sunday. 2-0. Clark, weird bounce off the mound, ranging left. Sullivan on the run barehanded, and Clark able to run it out. So that's another infield hit for the Outlaws. Bose advancing to 3rd, and they'll be at the corners with 1 down.
Now batting number 6, Zach Rowe.
Zach Rowe going to be the next Oneonta hitter to swing the bat. Big Slugger's been a do-it-all guy. He's a 2-way. Got the chance to catch up with him before our game Sunday down at Canton. He's trying to pick off, and Jack Clark diving back in there safely. Dane Richards wrapped up his sophomore year at Macomb, and you saw the graphic earlier on. He won player of the game Sunday down at Saugerties. 2 hits. Runs out some balls to our home plate umpire this evening. Another pickoff attempt to first. Jack Clark gets back in there safely. Zach Rowe has kind of been one of the unsung heroes for this Oneonta group so far. Despite again what the 0-2 record says, is Clark sliding in a second, gets there safe. Bosom heads up Adrian, dives in safe to home. A double steal for Oneonta, a late break off third by Bose, but he still manages to get in there. Nathan Bose, everything this team could have asked for and more so far. He's lived up to the hype and then some. Can't imagine that the send sign was on for Bose to go home there, but he knows his game better than anybody, and he trusts his stuff. It's the 0-1, just above the dish, and the count goes to a ball and a strike. Rowe walking in the second, and then he flew out to left to begin the third. Clark's dancing off second. He wants to run. As this one sprayed off foul. One of the big messages for this team that Coach Mark and Coach Aska and I were talking about when we were working on the field a little bit this afternoon was just that this team really needs to cut that strikeout number down. Clark, about halfway to second as Rowe, almost came out of his shoes. And talking about cutting the strikeout number down, 3 of the last 4 outs have been Ks. Jaden Kennedy going to walk up to the plate.
We have Jaden Kennedy.
Kennedy, he's 0 for 2. Struck out looking in the second. Struck out swinging in the third. Puts one down the line, foul territory, into the Auburn dugout. Or bullpen, excuse me, 0-1. Dugouts, bullpen, they both have players who aren't on the field at the moment. Same idea. Castillo looking behind him, comes back, set his 0-1. Big swing. And Kennedy's now trailing 0-2. Again, first and third are open. Kennedy looking back out there to the mound. Again, Clark a big lead. And Kennedy shooting it up foul behind home plate. So he stays alive. Love to see it. Clark's on the run, 0-2. And he's going to get the bag, no throw. A down and away pitch, and Jack Clark moves up 90 feet. One, two. Swung right through as Kennedy can't connect with the low ball. Outlaws, 3 strikeouts in a half inning, go Castillo's way. They do get a run now as Jack Clark, Nathan Bose, some great base running. 6-1 your score, top 6, coming straight up. Top six back here in Oneonta. 10-1-2 to bat for Auburn, using both the DH and the EH in their first game of 2025. And Meyer taking a high pitch for ball one. Meyer popped out to center field his first time up. Uhara was playing way out towards the track and had to come in on one, as this one bombed out in the shallow left in a big run there for Rowe, but he can't come up with the ball. Guess shallow wasn't the right word for it. Went pretty deep into the corner, but got to remember 335 down the line, and it's a little different than what Oneonta's seen first couple of games. In Amsterdam, it's only 280 to the polls. I think down at Saugerties on Sunday, if I'm remembering correctly, without flipping back here in my book, it's 315 to each poll, so definitely a little bit longer, and that's one thing that really kind of sets the Maskey field apart. You stand at home plate, and it looks like it's a mile to put one out of here. Only had 2 home runs here all of last summer by Outlaw hitters, and one of them was by the man we had up here early on, Connor Wading. Other was by Brody Raleigh, who just concluded his sophomore year at Western Carolina. Asa Dugan rocking around first base side. He gets and fires. Swung on and missed. 2 Ks for the Morris righty. Tyler Vivianqua, it looks like going to be yanked out of the ball game. Coach Petrosi's walking in from down at third. Is he's going to relay the change? It's Austin Drogue, the freshman from St. John Fisher.
Now batting number 28, Austin Drogue.
So he'll take over the DH spot, the 5'10", 175 righty. Going to take a called strike as Dugan catching the upper outside quadrant. Drogue from Warwick, New York, hit 296 this spring at Fisher as Balich dives and comes up with an out. The Oneonta infield's fired up after that, and how can you not be? So it looks like Auburn really emptying out the bench here as we're getting another switch. As it's Matt McGeorge from Mercyhurst University.
Number 13 is up to the bat. Matt McGeorge.
So Matt McGeorge, 5'9", 185. He's a righty from Mercyhurst, taking strike one. Weren't prepared for all these changes at once, but it happens. Again, it's an exhibition for a reason. Trying to work everybody in, get them some live ABs. Is the 0-1, and McGeorge popping it up. Balich might have another play. Robinson goes over, calls off Balich, and there's the out. Zach Robinson, as they finish off the 1-2-3. Dugan's looking good. The defense is shining. Bottom 6 we go. Oneonta, still a 6-1 score here on YouTube. Bottom six here on Outlaws YouTube. Coley Smith here with you for the home opener 2025. Exhibition matchup doesn't count for the standings, but still both squads trying to grab a W. They will meet up again later in the year at Leo Pitney Field at Falcon Park out in Auburn. It's about a 2.5-hour ride on the bus, so not exactly the Outlaws' longest ride. Glens Falls is the longest one by quite a bit in comparison. Robinson able to pull the bunt back in time, holding up, so good benefit of the doubt call goes his way, and it's quickly 2-0. Castillo remains out on the hill here, trying to go 2 innings. Hillman's been their best arm of the night as he went 2 2/3. Trying to give this bullpen a little bit of depth. 2-0. Upstairs, 3-0. Robinson walking and scoring a run in the second, and he struck out looking in the third. Can't help but talk about how this game has just been a really weird one in a lot of areas, but still the Outlaws managing to plate some runs, and that's huge. Definitely need a little momentum turn and a little bit of wiggle room. Know what you can do going into a big stretch coming up as the counts run back full. Utica tomorrow, go to Mohawk Thursday, get a taste of Glens Falls Friday, and then Boonville's here Saturday. Payoff. Swing and a miss. Castillo answers back from down 3-0 to send Robinson back to the dugout.
Now batting number 47.
He went to the fastball, and Robinson, that's one of those areas where you go back to not having live ABs in a while. It can kind of mess with your head. You really got to look for your pitch and trust your stuff, and had some good swings there, just his timing was a smidge off. Uhara taking ball 1. He's 1 for 3, struck out swinging in the first, singled, scored a run in the second, and also lined to short in the fourth. This one gets off Reeder, rolls away on the wild pitch. So it's a 2-0 count. And Auburn, it's nice they got some guys so willing to help in their dugout. Trying to make sure this game can continue on as quick as possible. As here's the 2-0, and Uhara head high taking it, ball 3. Definitely would be nice to get out of here at a decent time tonight, knowing the crazy week that's ahead for this Oneonta team. 3-0. Called strike. As Uhara laying off. So it's to 3-1. And Castillo went fastball. Uhara poking it in the left. Just inside the line in the corner. He takes the big turn, trying to leg out 2. Uhara slides in head first. And he's got his second double of the year.
Now batting, we have number 28, Jace Kohler.
Big one there for a guy who really is starting to earn his spot up there at the top of the lineup. In high school, he told me he hit leadoff quite a bit. Could see why. Uhara, a lot of speed and can hit anything at any angle of the park, it seems like. Jace Kohler, 1 for 3. He struck out twice. Does have a pair of ribbies, though. Lays off the first one and the count to 1-0. Kohler, believe it or not, is a true freshman at High Point. Got lots of playing time. Seemed like every time I was getting a High Point post in my feed on IG, Kohler was involved in it in some way. Really made a name for himself in the program. And his final line on the spring, a 3.11 average, 26 games, made 13 starts. Good take there as it goes to 2-1. He's actually from Clearwater, Florida, so knows and loves the beach pretty well. Went to High Point as it was a good opportunity to grow in both his baseball skills and get good academics. Business major at High Point as it's a 3-1 count. Off a second, again it's Uhara. And And there's a glance bat. 3-1. High, ball 4. Kohler with a great AB. And it's first and second with one away.
Now batting, number 24, Jameson Bollick.
Jameson Balich now going to roll on up here. He walked in the first. 2-base E8 in the second. And then flew to right in the 4th inning. Balich towards third. Bouncer inside the line, Strange. Traeger got it around Kazuhara to get the out, and Uhara slid there in the third awkwardly. Strange Traeger's got to watch that. Could have taken out our guy.
Number 18, we have Hugo.
So it'll be a 5 unassisted for out 2. I don't love the angle Strange Traeger took to the bag on that one. Could have kind of came inside knowing that Uhara was going to be pretty close there, but instead kind of went right in his baseline, and Uhara is lucky he didn't get hurt. But Hugo Conor is now in. Here's an 0-1 count. Conor mentioned it the first time up, but committed recently to Westchester. Hit almost 300 this year at Herkimer after playing Mineral Area College last year. So 3 years, 3 schools for the guy wearing 18 for Oneonta. Chetlet back to second, 1-1. Conor's to pitch, swing and a miss. Quickly Castile trying to finish off a second inning of work. Needs just one more pitch to do it, hopefully for Auburn's sake. Chilling at a 6-1 score, favor the Laws. And Conor's going to be retired as he goes down swinging at the high heater. So Castile up to 4 Ks in his outing. We're through 6 here at Historic Damascus. Top 7 coming at you next. It's 6-1, Oneonta. Despite the plethora of changes by Auburn in that last half inning, the one constant, their 3 spot, Adam Sullivan, going to remain in here. He'll see his 3rd AB of the game. Issa Dugan already throwing 2 half innings, and we'll see if he can close out 3. The one thing about an exhibition game, and talking about it with Coach Keaton Mark off the record earlier, try to throw as few arms as possible if somebody's giving you some leverage. And he's certainly gotten leverage out of his 2 guys tonight that have seen the bump. Dugan, 0-1 pitch. Sails high and upstairs, 1-1. Dugan, a graduate of Morris, as I mentioned when he came into the game. Ripped the Tri-Valley lead for 4 years of varsity. Pitched this spring, Ithaca JV. Couple of bounces, Robinson to his left, deposits it into the glove. Send him to the bank. That's a 4-3 put away as Balich, right place, right time as always. Kieran Kehoe nets to hit. And actually, no, it's not going to be Kehoe, as we're going to get a change here for Auburn. Mac Mayer, the freshman from Mercyhurst, as it's a 1-0 count. Again, we apologize. Auburn, we didn't get the full roster with full names until just before game time today.
Number 14 is Mac Mayer.
So doing the best we can with the switches coming in like they have been. This is the extra hitter spot, so shouldn't see Mayer coming into the field, but we will keep an eye out when Auburn comes back to the field just to make sure. McGeorge did take over second base for Thompson. On the Auburn defensive side of the ball there's another ball. 3-1 to count here on Mayer. There's 4 Mercyhurst guys in this Auburn roster this summer. And there's another high ball. So Mayer drawing the walk. And he's on with 1 out. So Auburn continuing to empty out the bench is Caden Albright, the freshman from Binghamton, now going to take some swings. Albright, a take blown away.
Number 9, Caden Albright.
Outlaws might have a secret weapon in the back pocket, hoping that maybe we'll get a Binghamton Bearcat coming here in a couple of weeks. So it could be a future teammate, Mr. Albright. Lead off of first, as this one will sail high. One thing about Coach Mark, he's never content with what he's got here. He's always looking to add some more pieces and kind of tinker with his group. Not that what we have here is a bad group by any stretch of the imagination. The 35 that the Laws have brought in are real good, but if you get the opportunity to add a piece who can really do some damage for you, why not do it? And I know he's kind of been on the phone here as of late, hoping to fill in some pieces. You get 40 on your active roster, so why not take the guys that you can, as this one will creep in tight, and Albright taking a HBP. So Auburn, another pinch hitter is Gianni DeCerbo, the sophomore from Hamilton, going to enter into the game.
Now batting, we have number 16, Gianni DeCerbo.
So we are going to have to keep an eye when these fellas come back to the field now. Make sure everybody takes the spot where you think they'd be. DeCerbo is an outfielder by trade, played a lot of left and center for Hamilton this spring. Mayer's at second, Albright at first for this Doubledays group that continuing to try to find some answers here against Oneonta's Arms this evening. Dugan checks behind him. Is this one over the screen on the first base line? And DeCerbo quickly down in the count, 0-1. Auburn, their home opener Thursday night for all you Doubleday fans who are joining us here on Outlaws YouTube. And we thank you for your time and attention here tonight. I always try to give you a good product here on our YouTube. And again, mentioned it earlier on, but had some technical difficulties with getting our multi-cam setup rolling here to start the campaign. So we'll be working some extra angles in as we go throughout the summer this year, trying to bring you the best top-of-the-line product we possibly can here on YouTube. Video production, an area where this is a growth and developmental league for everybody. I've been working on trying to improve my skills in there, so it'll come with time. Hopefully sooner rather than later, going to have all 4 cams up and running here for you. But again, DeCerbo 1-2. Is this one thwacked out in the right? Clark going to chase it back. He hasn't been too busy out there. Makes the play. And he'll get a quick throw in. Didn't even take a bounce in getting it to Kohler. Clark's got a cannon. And Troy Reeder is now going to be replaced as one of Auburn's 5 catchers, Anthony DeCesare, the freshman from University of Delaware, going to come up. Again, Anthony DeCesare, a freshman, U of Delaware, stands at 6'1", 205. Dugan looking over to first. Is this one going to sail in high?
Now we have number 19, Anthony DeCesare.
Certainly going to be fun. Take a look at Auburn's fielders next half inning. There's a nice bat pit by Bose, and the count running to 2-0. I think the one thing that Matt Petrossi had in mind here tonight in Oneonta was get a chance to see as many of his guys as he could. This is his first year in Auburn. Coached the Watertown Rapids last year. Him and Coach Keaton Mark actually have a pretty good friendship off the field. This Jaden Kennedy tracking this one down to the left of the Outlaw dugout, and he tumbles over. Looks like he lost in the lights. Had that happen to Zach Rowe as well on a ball left field opening night in Amsterdam. No problem, just shake it off. Counts 2-1. Troy Reeder's day ends as he finishes 2 for 2. So Auburn, if you want to see a guy who probably going to make some noise for him when the regular season starts on Thursday, he'd be a guy to keep an eye out for. Clark over in foul territory loses his cap, and he's not going to get there. At least it was a foul ball. If it had been a fair ball, that one definitely would have stung a little bit. But Clark did have to cover a lot of room as he was pinched more over towards right center. So again, DeCesare. 2-2's your count. Hits are 5 apiece. Doubledays have made 2 errors in the field. Oneonta's playing a clean game to this point. Jinx, knock on wood. Dugan sails one high. Counts full. 2 ducks on the pond with 2 away. And Dugan a fastball. This one out in the left, going for a run. Zach Rowe chases it back. And that one gets out of here. The Auburn Doubledays backup catcher, Anthony DeCesare, doing something that not too many players do at Tomaski Field. A 2-run shot. Or 3-run shot, excuse me. It's in a 6-4 game. So that's a costly mistake pitch by Dugan. And so now he's just going to try to get one more out as Oneonta has an arm up and throwing down in the pen. Got a guess for who it is, but hard to see too far out there. 23. 0-1. Pitch swing and a miss. And we do have pinch hitter here, just noticed for Auburn as well. Bonfiglio is the 0-2. Going to sail on in high. It's Mike Bonfiglio from Eastern Connecticut State.
And we have number 23, Mike Bonfiglio.
And he's going to be frozen by a slider from Dugan to end this half inning finally. Auburn pots 3 more runs on a 3-run bomb by Anthony DeCesare. And we will hit the 7th inning stretch here in the Laws home opener. Oneonta, 6-4 is your score. Nathan Bowes is going to try to get Oneonta some offense back. Here is Storchamaski Field, home opener, and Bowes going to take a called strike one. New arm we got out here for the Auburn Doubledays. Welcome into the ball game, Jake Rude. He's returning to Auburn for his second summer. Goes to CC of Morris, and he only appeared in 4 games this year. Pitched 4 1/3 innings, gave up 2 hits, 10 runs, 7 were earned. His command was a big problem. 8 watts, 5 wild pitches, and 1 hit by pitch, so that's quite the line. One, two. Straight back behind the dish. And Bose hangs around. Bose, fastball hunting, and nothing's there, so there's 1 away. Ruth going to pick up his first K. And the Outlaws, offensive side of the ball, hopefully something can come alive here again. One area that was really problemsome for this team a year ago was when it seemed like they got into a rhythm, they almost got too comfortable. And you can never get too comfortable in a game that, even though it's a relaxed sport, I mean, you always got to be looking pot on more, always got to be looking to execute. Range and left, the shortstop Sullivan over to first. Not in time. Jack Clark lays out another infield single. And right now, through 4 ABs, he's definitely a candidate for player of the game. 3 hits. Also has 4 stolen bags. So how can you look any other way? Unless somebody all of a sudden does something miraculous. Adam Sullivan, I think, is the only player left on the starting infield for Auburn right now. There's Zach Rowe, a 1-0 count. Clark looking like he wants to run again. Big base stealer in high school is Rowe driving this one into left. Takes a bounce inside the line. Keaton Mark waving Jack Clark around third. He's going to come to the plate and score. Rowe stops at second, and he's got another RBI. 7-4. Oneonta your score. Zach Rowe getting it done. A big double.
Now up to bat, number 11, Jaden Kennedy.
Looked like out there and left. It was a bad read for Gianni DeSerbo. He kind of went running over there, hoping that he could track the ball. But when Zach Rowe finds a spot, he certainly finds it. Off a second row, big dancing lead, and there's strike one. Jaden Kennedy, and nothing in 1 count. Laws back out to a 3-run lead. Love to see it. Laying off, Kennedy a nice take. 1-1. He struck out 3 times tonight. Kind of struggling to find his groove here against Doubledays pitching. Trying to find a barrel, get his confidence back. Here's the 1-1. Looked pretty good. They call it high, 2-1. Rude. Left, right, center. He's kind of all around the zone. Kennedy went right through one. 2-2. This is the offense that we thought we'd see from Oneonta this summer. This game might have been the turnaround that they needed before we really get into East Division play. 7 runs, 7 hits, and a lot of base runners in between. As Kennedy brushed back, goes full with 1 away. So again, we got a runner at second, one down. Kennedy way back in the box here. On the run goes Rowe. Snap throw down to third. And Rowe got his back leg caught. So he's nailed out on a 2-5 with a tad being slapped on by Mike Bonfiglio.
Zachary Robinson.
Zach Robinson now to bat here for Oneonta. Same starting 9, probably going to play the full game here. To no surprise. Coach Mark has been big on trying to find some more continuity in the lineup this summer. Last year was tough. We had 22 position guys here in Oneonta last summer, so trying to get everybody in there, it certainly made it hard to find guys the at-bats they wanted. If we're back even at a ball and a strike. But this summer, far from last summer, and it's the year of the laws. 1-1. Called strike. Robinson took an off-speeder. And now Rude just needs one more pitch to get himself out of this inning. Quick check look to first, the 1-2. High, ball 2. And we're even in the count. So 2-2 it'll be. As Rude working quick. Pitch swing and a miss, and that ends the inning. Rude with a pair of strikeouts, but Oneonta netting another run. 2 hits in the inning. Zach Rose, RBI double to left, the big one. 8th inning, straight ahead. Laws lead, 7-4. Top of inning 8, new pitcher on the hill for Oneonta. It's SUNY Cobleskill sophomore, Alex Burciaga. And he gets a big swing, Brendan Smith for strike 1. Burciaga played some summer ball last year down on Long Island, but didn't get to throw this year for the Fighting Tigers. Was ineligible as the 0-1 gets a called strike. He made a few starts last year for SUNY Cobleskill as a freshman. Struggled a little bit, but that's expected. The transition to college baseball is tough. 0-2. Brandon Smith, towering fly ball on the left, going for a run. Zach Rowe to the corner, drops in foul territory. So Brandon Smith put some good rip on it. First hard hit ball off Alex Burciaga. Last year, if you wanted his full stat line, 7 appearances, 4 starts, 0-3 record through 15 1/3. Did have a pretty good outing against SUNY Oneonta as the 0-2, just above the shoes. SUNY Oneonta was actually where Auburn head coach Matthew Petrossi started his collegiate coaching career. Was a pitching coach there for a year and a half. As the 1-2. Swing and a miss. How about it? Alex Burciaga, first strikeout of the summer. So now, another pinch hitter for Auburn. As it's going to be Tommy Kerwin from Wofford.
Number 25 is now to bat, Tommy Kerwin.
Kerwin, teammates with a couple of the Outlaws we got from there. Zach Porter, got Kazuhara. Is the 1-0. And that'll go down low, ball 2. Burciaga kicks and deals. Cannon out in the left field. That'll drop in foul territory. Also got Woodridge from Wofford as well. How could I forget? So it'll go to 2-1. There's Burciaga. Called strike. 2-2. Burciaga trying to do what he can. Get another out here. Already 1 strikeout deep to his outing. And he misses low with this one. And the count goes full. So we'll try it again as the count is full. Burciaga looking for back-to-back Ks to start his summer. He shakes off Bose and misses upstairs as that's ball 4. So Kerwin, we're to deep AB. And we'll go back to the top of the lineup here for the Doubledays. As Drogue will take another at-bat. Austin Drogue lined out to first last time. Burciaga trying to pick off. There's a slap tag from Balich. Balich does a really good job over there first to holding base runners on. It's one area where he definitely excels. Burciaga, a nice called strike. 0-1. His top spot in the Auburn lineup has yet to account for any offense here in this game. As Burciaga tries another. And Balich going to get him with the tag. Kerwin caught dancing off the bat too far. That's huge. It's a 2-3. So, 0-1, and all of a sudden Burciaga racing the base runner. Jameson Balich coming up with a huge glove as it goes to 1-1. Burciaga, big kick and a delivery as this one sprayed off foul. Counts at 1-2. Burciaga, last year, mentioned his summer ball Down a bit south, it was for the Atlantic Collegiate League. Did pick up 2 wins. He's actually one of their more relied upon arms later in the summer. Season's a little bit shorter than the PGCBL. Here's a 2-2. Big swing and a miss, and Burciaga gets out of the inning. He walks one, but he gets a pair of strikeouts. We hit the middle of the 8th. Here's Sweet Carolina, historic Tomasky Field's always a favorite for the middle of the 8th. Laws will come back to the plate, hoping to get hot again. Put up a crooked number in the bottom 7. Had an RBI blast. It was a double from Zach Rowe to the corner and left. Kazuhara has 2 hits tonight. Said already, how can you turn the cheek from Jack Clark and looking to player of the game tonight? But Kazuhara putting himself in contention for his first nod of the year in that department. It'll bounce off the dish and the count goes to a ball and a strike. Always do the best we can to share the wealth around with player of the game. 1-1. Gonna miss down and away. 2-1. Uhara scored a run in the second inning. One thing that Coach Petrossi is really going to have to talk to this group about is their fielding. Doubledays haven't looked too confident out there today, and kind of a big part of that second inning where the Laws really broke the game open, potting 5. Craziest part of that half inning, only 2 hits hitting the board. Roots 2-2. Uhara didn't get all of it, bounced to short on the run. Sullivan getting the job done. So Uhara's retired, 6-3. As we had a nice stretch over there from Albright. Jace Kohler now going to come up for the 5th time tonight. Really is nice, only bat 9 in your lineup, get a little more turnover. Give guys the chance to bat 5 times in a game. Batting 10 is kind of tough. That was one thing that many of the guys in the Outlaw lineup last year kind of talked about when they had the 22 guys and you're batting 10 regularly. They didn't get as many at bats as you would, only batting 9. Certainly adds up over time when you're giving away 4 to an extra hitter in the lineup, maybe 5, even 6 some games. Usually only 4 or 5 though, because we do have the mercy run rule here in the PGCBL. Auburn was on the right end of the mercy run rule 7 times last summer. It's the 2-0. Called strike. It's like Rude's kind of working off speed. Can't tell if he's got some kind of splitter or almost forkball kind of thing going. Is the 2-1. And this one out in the shallow right, drifting a long ways. It's caught in the gap. Brendan Smith tracks it down. And there's 2 away.
Batting 24, Jameson Balich.
Balich gonna come up hoping to keep his big stick hot. I mean, he really hasn't had a bad at-bat tonight, as that'll be a strike. He hasn't had a hit, but he's been on couple of times. A walk, 2-base E8, also a fielder's choice. Is an 0-1. Gonna come high, 1-1. The thing about Balich is he wasn't originally on this Outlaw roster. He was a later add. And it's crazy considering he ended up hitting .492 at HVCC this spring. Foul ball, going to go out towards the lot. Oneonta Fire and Rescue truck. Almost got hit. Had a lot of pop in his bat this spring for the Vikings, too. 15 doubles, 2 triples, 7 homers. 1-2. And Balich, high fly ball, right side of the infield, drifting over, foul ground. This one's hauled in. Nice play by Albright. And that ends the inning. Laws go down 1-2-3. Auburn, last hopes, top 9. When we come back, they trail 7-4.
Better not see a 4 receptions. Double digits. I need double digits.
Top 9th here in Oneonta. Special guest back alongside me is General Manager Tony DeLillo returning to the booth.
Nice
Line
play.
shot at
Nice
second.
play.
Yeah, that's what we like to see.
Nice play there. What a great play.
Ranging left, Robinson able to rob McGeorge of a hit. And Tony, this Outlaw team has really showed up in the field tonight.
It's been I would think Coach Mark would say this too after the game. It's just been a well-played game for us. Clean game in the field. We had great at-bats, timely hitting. It's just a great night of baseball here at the Demosky Field by our Outlaws.
Adam Sullivan, the only player from the starting 10 that has stayed in this entire game at the dish here. And Coach Keaton said in our pregame interview today that the defense has really been the big thing for this team through the first couple games.
Yeah, I mean, they look locked in tonight. You know, Coach Mark's his impression of playing ball in the field has really stuck out tonight.
2-0. And that going to drop in low and away. 3-0.
That one looked good, too.
All 3 arms for Oneonta tonight have really been on top of it.
You take away the long ball there from the Doubledays. It's been a pretty clean game by us, both pitching, fielding, and hitting.
That looked like the same spot as the last one.
Yeah.
At least Berciaga gets that call.
Yeah. See if we can battle back here.
3-1. And again, Berciaga hasn't seen live mound work in a long time, and he fights back to run it full here.
Great job battling back by him here.
Berciaga really does have a good arm. Got to watch his first couple bullpens here as an Outlaw, and Nathan Bose and him certainly worked well together, and they're doing it on the field for the first time here this summer today. Talked about it with Connor Wading earlier, and I got to get your take on it. And the time being around the team so far, Nathan Bose, catcher from Sacred Heart, certainly been a huge difference maker, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, he's kind of like the leader out there, and he's doing a really good job. I thought we were going to get that pitch there. It looked pretty good from here.
Berciaga really has a nice drop on that changeup.
The batter was fooled. I thought we had the outside corner.
So Auburn going to have Matt Mayer take another at-bat.
Now batting number 14, Mac Mayer.
He walked and scored a run in the 7th inning. Laws will shift the double play depth up the middle, hoping that they can turn 2, get out of the game. Saw a nice 6-4-3 earlier on. Came back in the 4th.
Great pitch. Great off-speed pitch right there.
So 2 double plays to the first 3 games. Been pretty big.
And the third one would be nice here. Get us out of here.
As we said, huge week coming up, so getting out a little early tonight. No harm in that. 0-1. Up behind the plate, 0-2.
Had him out in front there. Did a really good job changing speed there.
Burciaga going to set back up first base side here. Keeping a close eye at first. 0-2. Sails high. Bo's trying to pick off. Saw one of those earlier. Was able to catch a runner. It was a 2-3. It was actually in the last half inning. Burciaga's trying to go 2. And believe it or not, Outlaw bullpen is totally quiet here, so just 3 arms in an exhibition game. That's big, too.
And Coach Mark's going to be happy about that, you know, not having to run a lot of guys out there tonight in this exhibition. I think we can fully rest it for tomorrow's game.
And tomorrow's where it matters, playing the Blue Sox. Floated into shallow left. Rose coming on underneath it, and he's got it. The SUNY Oneonta product is a great fielder out there. Certainly covers a lot of ground for Oneonta.
It's one of those in-between balls here at Demoski. You know, hit off the end of the bat, but there's a lot of room out there. But he did a great job out there making a play.
Caden Albright got hit by a pitch in the 7th, came in to score. Now he's up here for another go at it. Burciaga looking for the last out, and he's not going to find it. He's been hit twice, so I guess he needs...
Unlucky day for him.
I was going to say, needs an ice pack or something.
Where's the trainer?
Hopefully for his sake, though, maybe he's got a little longer arm guard, maybe clipped him there.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Gianni DeSerbo, who come in, swing the bat now. DeSerbo flying out to right field last time up. One of the only 2 balls that Jack Clark has seen come his way tonight. So pretty quiet night for him in his Outlaw debut in the field.
That off-speed's filthy right there. He had him fooled completely. What a great pitch.
Hey, Burciaga's doing his thing. Let him cook out there.
Let him cook. I love it. Let him cook.
0-1. It's second is Sullivan. Albright's at first.
Oh, again.
And
nice
a
pitch.
great break.
Nice pitch.
And Burciaga just needs one more pitch to get us out of here.
Don't change what's working, man. One more of those in there. Get us out of here on a good note.
Laws trying to win the exhibition. One of 2 matchups against Auburn this summer. See the Doubledays again when we go to Leo Pitney Field, Falcon Park, July 9th. Blasted out into right field. Jack Clark racing over to the gap, and he's got it. The Laws are winners.
Great job.
7-4 is your final.
Outstanding. What a great night for the Outlaws tonight. What a great night for opening night here at Demoski Field.
Laws going to come on out and talk to Alex Burciaga. And Tony, if you want to talk about a key moment from that game, what really sticks out to you?
Our defense. Just our defense. We made plays all night, and it showed the entire game.
Well, and in terms of this defense, I mean, a couple of errors those first 2 games. They're ones that you can really shake off and just kind of say, you know, this is a group of college ball players, never played together. I mean, sure, you got a few guys who have seen field action before, but it really is hard to bring a bunch of guys that have never seen each other together.
And it will take time. And once everything starts meshing, we'll be fine. And I expect big things from this group. I'm very excited about this year. I see a fun, entertaining summer here at Demoski Field, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, and in terms of big things that you can expect to see from this group, what's our organizational goal for this year, would you say?
I'd like to get out of here with a winning record and make some noise in the playoffs and make people fear Outlaw baseball.
So your final line for the Doubledays, 4 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors. The Laws, 7 runs, 7 hits, no errors. And we will be right back here at Historic Damascus Field tomorrow night for Out of this Galaxy night. Auburn returns to the field Thursday against Geneva on their home opener at 6:30. Appreciate y'all watching in tonight. My name's Colby Smith. The Laws are winners, 7-4 in the exhibition. And we will catch you tomorrow. As always,
Thanks
roll
for having me.
Laws.
Thanks for having me, Colby. Great job.